welcome to another subscription box wrap-up. This time we are wrapping up the Illumicrate Evernight subscription. Now this is a quarterly horror box based in the UK. There are woefully not enough horror subscription book boxes in the UK. There's a really good one in America called Twisted Retreat, but with the amount of the box and shipping it comes to about £100, and I can't justify that, because the amount of book boxes, they usually stay in the realms of fantasy or romance. They hardly ever go into the realm of horror. There's an Owl Crate one coming up, which I have signed up for, so we'll see how that one goes. But I'm not holding out much hope. So, like I said, with the Evernight subscription, you get one book per quarter, so we will be reviewing 4 books. Although it will be 5 because I started this subscription in October 2023. So I've got 1 book from 2023 and 4 books from 2024. Let's get into them. Now, if I've released the wrap-ups for Illumicrate, I did go through all the little items that you get with those boxes. That is only for those boxes alone. With the Evernight subscription, it is book only. You don't get the option to get anything else with it. Now, the Evernight books do not have themes like the normal monthly subscription box does, so we will be diving right into October 2023's book pick, which is The Last to Leave the Room by Caitlin Starlin. And this is a standalone horror/science fiction, which doesn't exactly fill me full of hope because I don't like science fiction. So if we take a look just at the cover, there is no foiling. If you've seen some of my other book box wrap-ups, their covers are always covered in either gold foiling, silver foiling, copper. You get the picture. This one doesn't have it. It is just a matte cover with an embossed demon cat. And the spine is just normal with the colours, and on the back it is the same colour but with more demon cats. And it is very shiny, as you can see the light reflecting on there. And the sprayed edges are a blank black colour, and with just it looks just, to me, it just looks like a mishmash of colours. If anybody can see anything else in there, I just see just a mishmash of colour that goes on the front with the covers. Now, the cover artwork was done by Baroque Gothic and Covered Dungeon Rabbit, which you can find on Instagram. And they also did the sprayed edges. Now, the naked hardcover isn't much to write home about. It's not foiled, so it's not shiny. It's just a black hardcover with an off-white drawing. And the spine is just generic and nothing here. So that's what you get for the naked hardcover. And that again was done by the same artist that did the cover. Now, the end pages do give off a bit of that horror vibe. It is quite ghostly and ethereal, and it is blurry on purpose. And it is different on the front to the back. So that's the front where she's on her own, and this is the back where she's no longer alone. They're alright. So let's get into the blurb and find out what this is all about. The city of San Sirocco is sinking. The basement belonging to Dr. Tamsin Rivers, the arrogant, selfish head of the research team assigned to find the source of the subsidence, is sinking faster. As Tamsin grows obsessed with the distorting dimensions of the room at the bottom of the stairs, she finds a door that didn't exist before, and one night it opens to reveal an exact physical copy of her. This doppelganger is sweet and biddable, where Tamsin is calculating and cruel. It appears fully terribly human, passing every test Tamsin can devise. But the longer the double exists, the more Tamsin begins to forget pieces of her life, to lose track of time, to grow terrified of the outside world. With her employer growing increasingly suspicious, Tamsin must try to hold herself together long enough to figure out what her double wants from her, and just where the mysterious door leads to. It sounds interesting enough, although it hasn't been interesting enough for me to pick it up and read it. I've had this since October 2023, which is when the box came out, and I haven't started this one simply because the cover doesn't pull me in. I don't particularly like it. It doesn't do much for me. It's weird, definitely weird. It just hasn't pulled me in enough to read it yet. Although I am planning on getting through these books this year because there's only 5 of them. And one of them I've read. So really there's only 4. I should be able to do it. I have no excuse. So this particular one came with its own signed bookplate, which I've just stuck in there. I don't like to leave signed bookplates just, loose in case I lose them, and then what's the point? Now, at the time that this book came out in the Evernight box in 2020, at the end of 2023, it faced quite a bit of backlash because this is published by St. Martin's Press. And if you didn't know, there was a boycott going on at the beginning of 2024. I don't know whether it's still going on right now. I haven't heard a thing about it. And I can't even remember what it was for now. But I do remember some vague backlash about them putting this book in one of their book boxes. But the thing with book boxes is these editions are planned months in advance. So even if say they had an author that turned out to be problematic and their book was going to be featured in a box the same month or the month after, they usually don't have time to pull the book and get another one ready to the high quality in time. Because printers just aren't sat around waiting for things to do. They plan months in advance. That's probably why I haven't heard much about this one. It does have an average rating on Goodreads of about 3.5 at the time of recording this video. So it seems to be quite middle of the road. The Evernight books are available on Illumicrate's website. I'm not sponsored, although at this rate I probably should be. But this particular edition, because I think it's been so long, it is no longer available on the website, so either you got it in the book box or you can find it on eBay. And this particular edition, the Illumicrate Special Edition, is going on eBay from anywhere from £15 to £55. And remember, it is book only. Now, the Evernight box, the actual box subscription, is £24. That's all. So for the horror books to actually be selling on eBay for anywhere up to 55 is just, it blows my mind. It's so crazy. Now this does have a completely different cover to the normal edition, which I will put up there. And to be honest, I prefer that because I don't like this. This is just too garish. Is garish the right word for what this is? I prefer that one. Now, January 2024. And the book for this month was The Invocations by Crystal Sutherland. I love this edition. I haven't got round to reading it, and it is one of the smaller ones compared to the rest of them. There is a smaller one, but this cover is everything. Considering the last one was the first Evernight box I ever got, getting this in the second one just cemented how good these are, because this is beautiful. I'm usually not a fan of character art on the front cover, but I think this sets it off perfectly. And for it to have no embellishment apart from the title and the author name, just perfect. And it wraps around, so that is the spine, and this is the back cover. I love it so much. It's everything I would want a horror special edition to have. Now, it's sprayed edges. We do have a block dark green and block dark green, but we do have, it is quite dark that you can see, but it is just a skeleton on here. It is beautiful. Now, the cover art on this is done by an Illumicrate in-house designer, and that is Alice Blake Art. And you can find her over on Instagram. Her work is just beautiful. But I can't get over this cover. I never could. Gorgeous. Now, this is the naked hardcover. This is the first Evernight book to actually have the foiling in it. And I'm not so keen. I know every inch of it is used, but I think until I read the book I won't be so keen. It's just, I don't know why I'm not keen on it. I do love the spine though. So I've got an old worthy leather going on, but it is all foiled. And the back is just the matte of the front without the foiling. It's very, very shiny. And the artist that's done the hardcover is somebody else called Illumicrate. Just because I say that I don't like the artwork or I don't like a particular way of doing things does not mean that I hate the artist or I'm saying that the artist can't draw or some, bullshit like that. I'm not. I'm just saying if I had it all in a row, it probably wouldn't be my favourite. And the end pages, although I do like that they use every single little inch of the end pages, I'm not keen on end pages that look that have the encyclopedia look. I prefer more art, I think, like a landscape or a character or a scene from the book rather than the description. And it's the same artwork on the back as well. Now, this is a young adult horror / fantasy, and it is a standalone novel, so it isn't part of a series. But let's get into the blurb. 5 women are dead. The killer leaves no fingerprints, no DNA. Police are utterly stumped. In a world where only women can use magic and the men who know about it seek to eradicate them, 3 damaged young women, 1 cursed, 1 hunted, 1 out for revenge, will team up to track down and take out a brutal supernatural killer. Jude Wolfe is rich as sin and handsome as the devil, but she is also cursed. Her immortal soul is tethered to a rather hateful demon, and she wants the hell out of the deal. What Jude needs is a curse writer, and she thinks the string of dead women, all of whom she suspects of messing with the occult, might just be able to lead her to one. Zara Jones has also been tracking the murders since they began. Her older sister was the killer's first victim. Zara doesn't just want revenge. She wants to find a way to bring her sister back. What Zara needs is a witch, a sorcerer, a necromancer. What Zara needs is a curse writer. At the apartment of the 5th victim, Jude and Zara meet by chance, and there they find a clue that brings their paths crashing together. A strange business card bearing 3 words. Emma Byrne, curse writer. Ooh. It sounds so interesting, and if you have read this book, please let me know in the comments down below what you thought of it, because I love the cover. I keep saying it, but I do. And this particular book is hand-signed by the author. Now, this has an average rating of 4.1 on Goodreads, so my expectations for when I read this book are colossally high. Now, bear in mind how much I said the Evernight subscription boxes are. They are £24. This edition, I mean, it is beautiful. It is completely beautiful. It is selling on eBay currently because it is not available in the Illumicrate store anymore. It is selling on eBay from anywhere from £70 to £90. I mean, I know it's a beautiful edition. I know that the cover is absolutely wonderful, and it really knocks the normal cover, which is here, just, it might as well not bother with this here. So I understand that this edition is, some scammers trying to call me. So I do understand why this edition is more pricier than the actual box, because sometimes the special editions can be. But for it to be so, what, like triple the price is ridiculous to me. It is absolutely gorgeous. Now next up we have April's book, which is Murder Road by Simone St. James. There's no foiling on this cover, but it is embossed and it is done in quite very, very different artwork to what Illumicrate has ever done before. It's sort of like an old comic book kind of thing, but I'm not sure how I feel about it. And the artwork does continue on through the spine and onto the back. So if I open it out, it does have, it is a whole thing. I'm not sure whether I like it or not. I just don't know. It is very different to the normal cover, which is up here, which is a lot darker and it's just practically black. A lot more effort has gone into this cover. Now the sprayed edges are a block sort of dark pinky colour and trees on here. So the artist that did the cover is an artist called Dan Fries, F-R-I-S, and the in-house artist Holly Dunn, and they did the cover and the edges. The hardcover is the map, which I think is great. I think it's very unique. I've seen maps in books, of course I have, but for it to actually be the hardback artwork is, I don't think I've seen that before. So the hardback artwork is by an artist from Smid Illustrations, S-M-I-D, and I do love a good map, and it is hand signed by the author. Now the end pages, I don't know whether I'm particularly keen on them. I don't know whether I like it or not. It's quite like snapshots. I don't know whether I like the style or not. I don't think I do. So this, if you can't guess by the cover, is a standalone horror/mystery. So let's find out what the blurb's like. April and Eddie have taken a wrong turn, and now they're on a long dark road late at night when they see a woman up ahead clearly in trouble. They stop and pick her up. It's only once she's in the car that they see the blood, and then headlights appear in the distance, racing towards them at speed. And at long last, the woman speaks. "I'm sorry, he's coming." While April and Eddie are able to escape this time, their terrifying adventure is only just beginning. The hitchhiker's injuries prove fatal, and the couple are trapped in the small town of Cold Lake Falls, prime suspects in the eyes of the local police. It turns out that this isn't the first victim to die on this stretch of road, and it isn't the first time that survivors have seen something that can't be explained. But to get out of town, April and Eddie are going to have to drive down that haunted stretch of road one more time. It sounds interesting enough, it just hasn't been interesting enough for me to pick it up yet. So this has an average rating on Goodreads of 3.6. I've seen some very mixed reviews for this from fellow booktubers. So it seems to be quite a Marmite book. Either it's wonderful or it's god-awful. Now this is still available on the Illumicrate website. It is £20 for the book on its own, which is less than the actual book box. And it is available on eBay as well, from anywhere from £20 to £40. But for that, I would probably just get one off the normal website, because then it's brand spanking new. I'm not sure how I feel about the cover. I'm still not sure how I feel about the cover. Now, July's book is a book that I no longer have, and that is The Eyes Are the Best Part by Monica Kim. Now, this cover is disgusting and horrific. And the story is disgusting and horrific. Completely. The artwork on the book is just marvellous. I love the cover. I love the hard case. It's just all oozy and bleh. And the spread edges are just disgusting perfection. It is most certainly different to the normal cover, which is up there. And I do prefer this one. I think this one is just full of disgustingness. Disgusting wonderfulness. And it was signed by the author, and it is a debut horror novel. Now, if you don't like eyes, or if you're queasy about eyes, this is not a book for you. It is disgusting. When I was reading it, I was like, ugh, ugh, ugh. Oh, no, oh, no, no, no. But with that, let's get into the blurb. So I'm going to be reading off Goodreads because I no longer have the book. Ji-won's life tumbles into disarray in the wake of her Appa's extramarital affair and subsequent departure. Her mother distraught, her younger sister hurt and confused, her college freshman grades failing, her dreams horrifying, yet enticing. In them, Ji-won walks through bloody rooms full of eyes, succulent blue eyes, salivatingly blue eyes. Eyes the same shape and shade as George's, who is Umma's obnoxious new boyfriend. George has already overstayed his welcome in her family's claustrophobic apartment. He brags about his puffed-up consulting job, ogles Asian waitresses while dining out, and acts condescending towards Ji-won and her sister as if he deserves all of Umma's forming adoration. No, George doesn't deserve anything from her family. Ji-won will make sure of that. For no matter how many victims accumulate around her campus or how many people she must deceive and manipulate, Ji-won's hunger and her rage deserve to be sated. And it's disgusting. So this has an average rating on Goodreads of 3.8, and I myself rated 3.5, and you can check out that book review in a video linked down below. And this fantastic edition is still available on Illumicrate's website for £20 and is selling on eBay from anywhere from 20 to 40. Now, I myself sold my copy. It sold at 26, so I got above average of what you can get for this book. And it's probably my luck that the buyer didn't realise that you do not have to be a subscriber to buy books from the website. You can just go on as a normal bookshop and buy special editions that Illumicrate do, and I will link the website down in the box below. I really should get sponsored at this point, but I don't have enough followers, so I've got no chance. Maybe next year. Maybe. So now we are into the last box of 2024, and it's October, we're in Halloween, and the book that we are offered is The Academy for Liars by Alexis Henderson. And I love everything about this cover. I love that it's just like a mirror image of itself. And the only foiling on here is the title, and the embossing is just these lanterns, which I think is a very nice touch and really makes them shine more than it would if they were just the colours. But the artwork does go onto the back, and here we have gold foiling and a quote from the book, which is, "One of the Lennons in the mirror didn't strike its cheek. It didn't move. It didn't move at all, really, except to smile." It's fucking creepy. Now the sprayed edges are block colour, and it goes with the artwork on the book. So as you go around, it all fits together, which I think is very well done. And the naked hardcover is just gorgeous. So you have gold foiling on the doors, but other than that, it is just pure art. It goes onto the spine again with just a column, and on the back. So the doors are closed on the front and open on the back. And the end pages are just gorgeous. They're so atmospheric. It's really giving sort of 1920s vibes. A dark, smoky club, a singer, etc. And different artwork on the back. And it is signed by the author. So, let's see what it's about. Lennon Carter's life is falling apart until she gets a mysterious phone call inviting her to sit the entrance exam for somewhere very few have heard of. Hidden in a secret pocket of Savannah, it's a place called Drayton College, and it's a school of magic. Lennon has been chosen because, like everyone else at the school, she is special. She possesses the innate gift of persuasion, the ability to wield her will like a weapon and to use it to control others, and in rare cases, matter itself. After passing the grueling exam, Lennon now needs to learn how to master this devastating power. While persuasion takes a heavy toll on her body and her mind, she is captivated by all that surrounds her. Her studies, the college's lush, moss-draped campus, her brilliant classmates, but most of all by Dante, the charismatic advisor who both intimidates and intrigues her. However, as Lennon becomes more adept at using her uncanny abilities, she discovers more about Drayton and its unsettling history, about Dante and his tragic and violent past. And the more she learns, the more disturbed she becomes by what she finds. For it seems that the ultimate test Lennon will face is to embrace absolute power without succumbing to corruption and darkness. And it's a test she's terrified she is going to fail. It sounds so good, so interesting, and I can't believe I haven't read it yet. But then I've only read one of them, and that was that I saved The Eyes Are the Best Part for Halloween, which is probably when I was going to read this, but it didn't seem like a July book for me. And I love this cover. It is so different to, this is the normal cover, which is, black and gold. It's a bit dull. This is a work of art. So this is a horror/fantasy, if you didn't get that from the blurb. I wasn't getting fantasy from it, but we'll see when I read it. And the average rating for this book is 3.5 on Goodreads. So it is, again, straight down the middle. Now this is not available on the Illumicrate website that I could find, which is a bit odd for it only coming out in October. Usually they are on there by now, but they might be waiting until the next Evernight box comes out, because like I said, the Evernight box is once a quarter, so they might be waiting once the next one comes out. This might be in the shop. I would keep an eye on the shop for this one being there. But if you didn't want to wait and see if it ends up on the shop, you can buy this edition on eBay, this beautiful special edition, from anywhere from £20 to £50. It is around the pricing that these special editions usually go for. It's not going to burn your wallet. Although listening to my recaps and all these videos about where to get these lovely special editions, I bear no responsibility at all. None. So now we get into our ratings. And in my opinion, the one with the worst dust jacket is The Last to Leave the Room. Because you compare it to the other ones, which are works of art. This, I just don't like it. I just don't like it. For me, it's just everything about it I don't like. So yeah, that's the worst one of the lot. Now the book with the best dust jacket. Can you take a guess? It really was a toss-up between two of them, I've got to admit. But the one that wins out is The Invocations. The Academy for Liars coming a very close second. But there are words fail me, because this is absolutely beautiful. So arty, so beautiful. The best of the year. Now the one with the worst sprayed edges, you probably don't really need to guess for this one, is Last to Leave the Room. Again, the worst dust jacket and the worst edges. It's a whole lot of going on, and I just don't like it. Now the one with the best edges for me is An Academy for Liars, because it's just, it goes so well with the cover and there's so much detail into it. There's even got like a little lamp and it all fits so well and so detailed. I love everything about it. And the one with the worst hardcover artwork has to be Last to Leave the Room. Again, really, I really don't like anything about this book. And I haven't read it yet, but everything else I just don't like. Because compared to the other ones, that is a bit bland, it's a bit boring. There's nothing that much happening here. And there is all this space that hasn't been used. Now the one with the best hardcover artwork has to be The Eyes Are the Best Part, because everything about this is just amazingly detailed, amazingly graphic, and really just sets the tone for the entire book, because it's a lot. So the book with the worst internal artwork, at least to my mind, is Murder Road, because I don't like the sort of cartoony sort of snapshot vibe that's going on here. It just doesn't appeal to me at all. It looks a bit cute. I would find something like this artwork would be at home in a romance. In a horror, it's not exactly what I'm looking for. Now the one with the best internal artwork. There's so many to choose from. This was really very hard. But it has to be An Academy for Liars, because how I couldn't not. I mean, look at this. Just everything about it. I love everything about it. It's character art, but it's dark, it's smoky, it's atmospheric, it tells a story. I love everything about it. And that was the wrap up for 2024's Illumicrate's Evernight subscription. Let me know what your thoughts are down in the comments below. What was your favourite? Have you read any of these? What are your thoughts on some of the artwork? Which edges did you like? I want to hear everybody's opinion. Don't forget to click that subscribe button and like this video. And until next time, keep reading.
Soft embrace, dark star sips with calm and grace. Wine flows like whispers, secrets told, in the night where dreams unfold. Lonely shadows dance with glee, eyes of amber, soul set free. Finds they weave a tale so grand, woven by a whispering